Hey, welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. In our previous videos, while discussing set, we have discussed so many important concepts regarding set, right? So in this video, we will be knowing some more important concepts, or you can consider as methods that we have, which is nothing but set addition methods. So which otherwise means that we have some methods that by using those methods, we can add elements to sets. So in our introduction about sets, we have discussed sets are mutable, right? So even once after you created your set, you can modify the elements inside of the set whenever you wanted, right? So in those cases, if you wanted to add the elements, we can add the elements using add and update. So like this, we can also remove the elements when we don't want those elements no longer. That we will be discussed in our coming videos. For this video, we will be understanding this particular add and update and how we can add the elements to the set. So let us go ahead and start with this particular add. So let's say first we need to have some set, right? So for that reason, I am taking this particular set 1, and inside of this set 1, I will be having, let's say, some elements. Let's say 10, 20, 30, 40. Like this, I am having some elements inside of this particular set. So I am taking very simple example in order to make you understand very clearly. So now, if I want to add an element, let's say I wanted to add a 50. So how I can do that? So before that, I will just print this particular set 1 so that we can able to see the output, right? So now I wanted to add 50 to this particular set 1. So for that reason, I need to mention set 1 here, set 1 dot add. So I am calling this particular method add. I need to pass whatever the element that I wanted to add, which is nothing but 50. So after completion of this particular set statement, if I print this particular set 1, now we are printing this particular set 1 before adding this particular 50 element, and after adding this particular 50 element, we are adding the element 50 by simply mentioning this particular set 1 and by using this particular add method. And now if I execute this, you can able to see the result. We are previously having 40, 10, 20, 30. So when we are giving the values, we are giving 10, 20, 30, 40, but as a result, we are getting 40, 10, 20, 30. The reason is because set is a unordered collection, right? Which means it does not follow a specific order, unlike list and tuple, right? So because of that reason only, we are getting in some order. So after that, when we are adding this particular 50 to this particular set 1, when we print, we are getting 40, 10, 50, 20, 30. So here the 50 is added in middle, we are getting 50. So focus on one thing, which is we can able to add the element to set, right? So we don't have any specific index to add the element at specific index or at the end. So when we have list, we can add the elements at the end or at a specific index. But that is not case with the sets, because set is a unordered collection and we just only can add the elements and we don't know where it will be added. So I hope you can able to understand how we can add the elements to set. So I will take one more example here. I will take set 1 and I will add one more element. Let's say I wanted to add 100 here, and I will print this particular set 1 here. Set 1, if I execute this, you can able to see we can able to get this particular 100. Previously we have added 50, and previously we have 10, 20, 30, 40. We are having all the elements, right? So I hope by this you can able to understand how we can add a single element to the list, to the set, right? Let's say I wanted to add set1 dot add this particular string, let's say like here, and after that, if I print set1 here, I am printing set1, and if I execute this, you can able to see we are getting this particular like as a single element. But we know that like is a sequence, right? We have character sequence like are considered as separate elements, right? So this is a iterable, right? But still, when we are adding using this particular add method, this particular whole iterable is considered as a single elements. So let us go ahead and add one more element, which is nothing but a list. So we wanted to add a list itself as a single element. Let's say for that, I am using this particular set1 dot add. I am considering a list with values 1 and 2, a simple list. So after that, I am printing this particular set to 1 here. So if I execute this, now we can see unhashable type list. The reason why we are getting this particular error is because we cannot have a list inside of a set. The reason is because whenever we are storing the elements in the set, we are considering two things, right? One is we are removing the duplicates. So you can observe, though we are mentioning the duplicates are removed. So apart from that, the order is does not preserving. The reason is because the removing of duplicates and order does not preserving is one of the important characteristics which is nothing but hashable. As like we are storing the list and tuple elements by using indexing, this particular set elements also stored by using hashing. So internally there is a hash function that will be built. Based on the hash function only, we will be having the elements inside of a set, right? So when we are adding this particular list, this list does not hashable, the list does not unhashable. Because of that reason only we are getting this particular error, which otherwise means by using this you can able to understand one important thing here. You cannot add a list inside of a set, so you cannot have a list in a set. So even if you wanted to create a set by having a list inside, so that is what I am doing now. I am considering set 2, and inside of this particular set 2, I have 10, 20, and also I am considering one more element which is nothing but 30, 40. So after that, I am having 50. So now, if I print this particular set 2, if I execute this, you can able to get a result unhashable type of list. So it doesn't matter when you are creating a set by having the elements of list, you cannot have. So you cannot have the elements of list inside of a set. So by this example, you can able to understand, right? So I hope you can able to understand that we cannot have a list inside of a set. So okay, that is fine. We cannot have a list inside of a set, but can we have a tuple inside of a set? So I am taking the same example here and I will be pasting that here. So I will be replacing this particular set elements as a tuple elements by mentioning the braces here. So now if I execute this, you can able to see we are getting the tuple inside of a set. So by this you can able to understand we cannot have a list inside of a set, but we can have a tuple inside of a set. So when you wanted to store some elements that are in set, but you cannot able to store the list element in set, right? What you can do is that you can convert that list to tuple and you can store that tuple inside of a set. So I hope by this you can able to understand. So where we are is that we wanted to add this particular list to the set, right? We cannot do that because list is unhashable. So let's say, can I add this particular tuple to set? So I'm taking set 1, that is what we are previously using, right? So I have explained this only to make you understand how the elements are stored by using hashing. So let us go ahead for the previous example. Can I add tuple to set? So I'm taking a tuple having the elements 1 and 2, and after that I will just print this particular set 1 here. So I'm taking set 1, and if I execute this, we can able to see we are having the tuple 1 and 2 at the beginning, and we are also having this particular like. So what I wanted to tell you by this is that we can, if we use this particular add, though we are passing an iterable, the whole iterable as considered as a single element itself. By this you can able to understand this particular whole tuple is considered as a single element, and this particular like is also considered as a single element. Let's say you are passing a tuple and all the elements in the tuple are considered as individual elements. So to do that, what we can do is that we can use this particular update. So by using this particular update, you can pass any iterable, either string or tuple, and you can convert that iterable elements, right? So like as independent elements and 1 and 2 as independent elements, unlike string and tuple types. Let us go ahead and understand how we can do that. So I will take the same example, or I will take the initial example that what we have, right? So I am taking this to make you understand clearly. So I am taking this. I will replace this particular element as set 3 here. So we are having this particular set 3, and if I print set 3 here, we can able to get all the elements. So now what I wanted to do is that I wanted to add an element which is nothing but a tuple, and inside of the tuple I am having some elements. So I want to consider each element as a independent elements in the set. So in order to do that, we need to use this particular update method. So let us go ahead and see how it works. So I'm considering this particular set 3 dot update. So I'm calling this particular update by passing a tuple here 1 2 3 4 5. So like this I'm having 5 elements in this inside of this tuple. So I'm updating the set using this tuple. So if I print set 3 here, and if I execute this, you can able to see we are getting 1 2 3 4 5 as a independent individual element rather than a tuple. So I hope you can able to understand this update is traveling through these particular elements, and we are getting all of those elements as a individual elements. So we are also having this particular 40 10 20 30. So by this I hope you can able to understand whenever we wanted to consider a iterable as a independent individual elements, we need to use this particular update. So let us go ahead and check with string. So we cannot check with list, right, because list is unhashable, and we will try that. So I'm taking this particular set 3 and using this particular update, and when I pass this particular like here, and after that if I print this particular set 3, you can able to see we still able to get this particular I, L, K, E as a single individual elements. So by this you can able to understand when we are passing any iterable, the elements inside of the iterable will be splitted, and we can able to get each element inside of the iterable as a individual elements in the set. So let us pass a list here and check how it works. So I am taking this particular set 3 and using update method, and I am passing a list here, and inside of this particular list I will consider, let's say, 80 and 90 here, because 80 and 90 not present previously, right? So I will print this particular set 3 here, and if I execute this, we can able to get 80 and 90 here and here. So by this what you need to understand is that though we cannot have a list inside of a set, but whenever we are using this particular update method, we are not considering the whole list as a list, rather we are iterating through that list and we are fetching the elements and storing in the set. So you cannot have this particular list when we are using add method, but you can have this particular list when we are using update method, because we are not considering list as a list, but we are only considering the elements inside of a list. So by this you can able to get all the elements in the list to the set. So I hope you can able to understand clearly these two methods that what we have explained. So let's say if I pass a individual element, let's say what I mean is that if I use this particular update method and if I pass a individual element, let's say 100 here. So previously we don't have any 100, right? So I am using this particular update method and passing 100 here. So after that, if I print this particular set 3 here, and if I execute this, we are getting an error, int object is not iterable, which means that this update function only takes the values which are iterables, as integer value which is nothing but 100 is not an iterable. Because of that reason we are getting this particular error, which is nothing but type error saying int object is not iterable. So by this you can able to understand whenever we are using this particular update, we only need to pass iterable, and whenever we are using this particular add method, we can pass any values that we wanted, and those value will be added to the set, and we cannot pass the list because the list is unhashable. And when we are passing any iterable other than list, those values will be stored as a single element itself. When we are passing like whole element is stored as a single element, when we are passing tuple also stored in a single element. So when we wanted to store those elements, each iterable elements as a individual elements, we need to use update, and we have seen with the example of string set string tuple and list, right? So I hope you can able to understand how we can use this particular two methods, add and update, whenever we wanted to add elements or update elements inside of a set. So I hope you can able to understand that. So that's it for this video, and I want to tell you one more thing here. So you are doing really great, you are learning really great. So very few students have came so far, very few people came so far, watch the video till the end. So you are one of those people, and I wanted to listen from you how you feel about this video and how what you think about this video. Comment whatever you think about this video, good or bad or interesting or good explanation or bad explanation or need to improve the explanation, whatever you think. Comment your thoughts in the comment section so that I will go through them. So one more thing I wanted to tell you is that if you found this video interesting, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications to all, so that whenever I upload any video, you will get the notification. In the next video, we will see how we can delete the elements from the set. So thank you for watching this video once again. See you in the next one.